Hello, I'm Zenifar. Today I'm going to try to show you what hard textures are, how they're different from soft textures, and how to use them. I'm going to assume a couple things. First, I'm going to assume you know how to use textures already, and I'm going to assume you kind of know how to use the numbers, the grid system in this map maker. If you don't, I might make a tutorial on it later. Alright, so I got four colors here: blue, green, pink, red in the order here, and the background is brown. So to start off, none of these are hard textures yet. They are all soft. So watch what happens when I hit hard edge to the pink one. It becomes a hard edge. Pretty simple. So one thing I want to point out here though first is you can see the grid. The grid line runs along here and runs along the middle here. When I hit hard edge, it goes to the edge of that line, despite the fact that textures are applied on the middle of intersection, not on the lines. Which is a little confusing, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So you notice that these textures are in order. So it's first, and then eventually on this row, first, second, third, fourth. That normally does not matter, and it does not matter with soft textures, but it does with hard. So I'm going to make something here quick. Alright, so I'm going to make a blue square here. Quick. Rectangle's fine. And I'm going to set this as a hard texture. Now, this appeared hard texture here over this texture. That's important. Now I'm going to do green one, apply a hard texture. And what you might be noticing is that the green is soft, but it doesn't make the blue hard near it. In fact, the green's soft texture is overriding the hard edge of the blue. And that is because green is to the right, is lower on the list than blue. So it goes blue, green, pink, red. So if I did red and made it a hard, put it here and made it a hard texture, it would override the green. Because the order of this all matters. So I'm going to try to show you what you can do with this. So first I'm going to take, that's one of the things I like to make with them. I do this in the landing zones a lot. Make a green square. Alright. Then, you know what, I'm going to make it a little bigger, just because it's easier to work with when it's bigger. And this is usually a decent size for landing zones. Sometimes you want them a little bigger, but this is okay. Alright. Next one I'm going to make is blue. I'm going to start with soft textures just because that's a little easier. I'm going to try to get this lined up perfectly. That's too much. Alright, now I'm going to hit hard edge for blue, and that's override by green. Hard edge for green. Actually, you know, I don't really need to hit it for blue because green is going to be above blue anyway. So I get hard edge, but it completely covers the blue because it's overriding, because it's lower on the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the blue a little thicker. And what this is effectively doing is it's making sure that the square in between these 4 points right here is going to be filled in because it's on the edge of blue on all sides, and green will, the hard edge green is going to override and take these corners, take this side, and take this side. It's going to leave the blue intact here because it's got blue on all sides. So hit hard edge here, and I've created a little landing zone marker. So that's a pretty simple trick. Take hard edge pink. And to go around here, you can make a border. So there's a weird thing about hard edge textures is that, watch, I'm going to apply this only every other intersection, and it's filling in just fine. I'm going to turn off hard edge. You're going to see a lot of open spaces here, because including all of this line in between, which is all still brown, because brown is being overridden by pink's hard edge and green's hard edge, because pink and green are both after brown. So that's something to keep in mind, and there's a lot of really complicated stuff you can do with this. So yeah, that's hard edges. Alright, so there was one more thing I wanted to show you. So you see I did this texture here, yellow, and to make it look nice, I set its texture scale to 220, whereas all of these are 100, which means they are on a scale of 5 by 5 squares, which is 100. This one's going to be every square, 20, or 1 by 1. And I'm going to apply it all around the edge here. And I'm going to turn off hard textures to start. So as you can see, this is before green, because up to the left and the top is first in order. So the order actually goes like this, left to right, and top to bottom. And whatever is lower on the list has higher priority for hard textures. So I'm actually going to apply this all around here. As you can see, it's still after brown, but before green. And then I'm going to hit it to hard edge. As you can see here, it has only one square, because the other squares are covered by the green square from the hard edge. If this is complicated, I'm sorry, it's just the way it works. Alright, so that's kind of cool. And I've just given it a nice little border. Something you can try as well. I'll turn off hard edge and erase the blue, because I realized there was probably something I should have explained. I chose blue, which is before green, and not red, which is after, because I wanted to show you something else. So you might think, why not choose red, because it's after and therefore has higher priority than green? And the answer is because due to it having a higher priority than green, it will also have fatter squares to begin with for the hard edge. Oh, I'm really struggling today. Okay, hard edge. So I get really fat things. Now maybe you want that, but if you don't, well, you're kind of stuck with them. So if you want to do skinny ones like I did with the blue, you need to do the double and have it before green, or whatever colors you choose. So yeah, turn green's hard edge back on. That's an alternative way to do it. So it kind of depends on what your goal is. Alright, so you're probably going to run into some complications doing this. Alright, one last thing I wanted to show, kind of as an example of how you can use this besides making landing zone decorations. One thing you can do is, if you've made a little area in like a dusty or sandy place, you can, well, you'll have hard edges for the city props or whatever. Maybe you'll do soft, and you can kind of mix and match. I do. So I've made this little thing here quick. It's hard, and it's 2 hard metals and over a soft but kind of irrelevant first texture. And so this is a soft texture that is later on than these two. And so a good idea is generally to put things you want to have covered and uncovered around the middle, and things you want to only cover at the bottom. So there is a lot of some planning to this. So I want to kind of make it look like the sand is maybe blowing across this place. So I've got these, and these will override the hard textures. So I'm just gonna like fill them in here and there, scatter them around, kind of covering the corners. But you see what I mean. And just kind of scatter around. Maybe you'd use 2 or 3 different kinds of sand textures. In fact, I would not recommend using only one. And this might be overdoing it, but I think you see the point. Let me just finish this. and you end up with something like this. This is a little sloppy, but I've definitely done better. But hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully you all understand hard textures better now. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment below or just ask me on Discord. In the future, I might make more videos like this.